September 2022, and a last chance to enjoy the warmth of the Aegean as Mladen flies in from Belgrade and me from London to the southwest of Turkey for a late holiday. Clarish Beach and Fethiye is the destination, with a stay at a small exclusive apartment hotel. Now, you never feel like doing much at the start of a vacation, so chilling out is the order of the day. But the bar scene in Clarish isn't far away, with a selection of British full English breakfasts, Brit football on every TV screen, and surprisingly, some quite sophisticated live music entertainment, including this cool blues improvisation band at the wooden stage. Clarish is very close to the quite large town of Fethiye, which has an altogether more sophisticated vibe. And as the sun goes down, it's very enjoyable to climb aboard the water taxi, which takes you across the bay, right into the town centre. Fethiye has a lively town centre and is home to numerous bazaars trying to convey that Middle Eastern feel. Nearly all the shops have a vast selection of spices, and the owner of each insists that they've created the spices themselves. There are dozens of restaurants and shops where bargaining for items is the done thing. It's worth remembering that even if you think you have got a great deal, you'll still pay far more than the locals would. Of course, headgear is very important for the discerning young tourist. Try it on, make sure it fits, do some very cool moves to make sure it feels right, and if you're completely happy, well, just walk away without paying. Where are we?
In the center of Fethiye.
And what can you see?
Lots of shops, or lots of restaurants. I don't know, we just got here.
The spice markets are part of the plan to make you think that you are somewhere really exotic. And certainly you can sample great tasting food here right across this lively town. So this holiday, we decided that we should do a bit more exploring and embarked on a few tours around the islands of the beautiful turquoise coast of the Aegean. The first boat trip was to go swimming and diving. Now, despite the large number of Brits on vacation here, surprisingly, most of the tourists actually came from Turkey, bringing their own unique brand of entertainment with them. I was almost expecting some belly dancing.
I'm a shark.
Huh? Are you?
The crystal clear waters were beautiful and gave a chance to let Mladen demonstrate his medal-winning success as a swimmer.
It's not even that cold, really. It's kind of lukewarm. Okay, day out today, away from the hotel, and here we are on the 12 Islands trip. We're not counting them all because I think they might leave a few out. but it's a boat where you just go from one island to the other. Some have some great deep sea diving, and then some like this have a little beach, so we can just sit in the sun, having had a quite nice lunch, and relax and not do very much at all, which is kind of like what the whole holiday's been anyway. The great thing about a trip like this is it's good to get away from all the people. Quiet, silent, and not a soul in sight.
The boat moved on to a deep area, and female Turkish Muslims make sure they keep discreetly covered.
This particular area is supposed to be extremely deep and full of interesting fish. So our underwater photographer, Mladen Pratić, will now be exploring this area to see what kind of wildlife he's able to discover. He's hoping there won't be any sharks or man-eating turtles. Lots of fish.
Amazing how tossing a half-eaten orange into the water can create a feeding frenzy for the tiny fish all around the boat. After island hopping, we head back to port, and after a few sundowners, relax to the homeward bound trip, with me feeling the cool vibes and grooves. Idiot.
So what do you think?
I love it.
The next day, we deal with more water in one of Turkey's natural tourist attractions. We travelled to the Saklikent National Park.
Well, we're actually now at another point of interest. This is Saklikent, which is an amazing gorge carved out underneath the high mountains. In fact, it wasn't discovered until 1986, so really it's become a massive tourist attraction in recent times. You can actually wade through the water, which must be very cold, and take a look more closely without actually drowning, I'm told, but we'll have to see how that goes.
Saklikent, meaning hidden city in Turkish, is around 50 kilometers from Fethiye. Around 4 kilometers of the gorge is usually walkable. Sensible submersible shoes with grips are quite important, as the stones beneath the water can get quite slippery. So we hired so-called jelly shoes, which made it easier even though they were pretty uncomfortable, and I found it hard to keep my balance. One thing is clear, Turkey is not big on health and safety. just a sort of washing line to hold on to. But actually, that made it more of an adventure and a unique experience.
This is harder than it looks. It's also very cold. So we're standing in water, which is like almost sub-zero. But it's quite an adventure. We had to get special shoes. And because we saw some rocks come down on someone's head, we started wearing hard hats as well.
As you proceed along the gorge, there's less water to negotiate, and the views become quite stunning. The beach at Clarish, where we were based, was not very attractive, so we got a car and travelled east along the coast to a beach that is extremely popular with the younger crowd. Cafes and restaurants are on the beach, and it was here that I realised I was the oldest visitor in town. Apart from golden sandy stones, there's another major attraction which you can't miss, and sometimes it can't miss you.
So here we are then. This is, only you can say this name. What is the name of the place?
Olu Denise.
Olu Denise.
Yes.
Hans Denise and Bumpsy Daisy. This is a very popular seaside resort along the coast a little bit, which I'm sure was really beautiful about 40 years ago. But one of the popular things is paragliding. As you can see, up in the sky, there are loads of these people, and they literally land right back on the beach, which is kind of amazing.
Russian visitors are very excited about paragliding, but after a swim I decided to think whether I would go gliding or not. It's extremely expensive for one thing. No, I'm not sleeping, just thinking. So we decided the best thing to do was to have another gin and tonic sundowner, and Mladen came up with an important verdict.
What do you think?
I love it.
High in the Zanos Valley is the Tlos Yaka Park. It's a trout farm, a combination and trout breeding centre, so at least you know that the trout on the menu will be fresh. There's a series of pools and waterfalls, and as you descend, the fish get a bit larger. It's a short drive to the ancient city of Tlos. Archaeological remains from the city centre suggest that the foundation of this city started more than 4,000 years ago. The theatre is in fine condition, and at the foot of the hills is a stadium with seating capacity for 2,500 people. It dates from the Hellenistic period, with additions and alterations from the Roman period. On the slopes leading up to the Acropolis are numerous Lycian sarcophagi and many house-type rock tombs. They're cut into the rock face of the hill, and it's hard to believe that these buildings were actually carved out of the rock face. Wow, an incredible journey and holiday with so much to see and lots of great memories and pictures.